Hi, I am Mrs. Clements, and I wanted to create a video showing some examples on conversions. So first I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you the conversion chart that is allowed to be used on the test. So this is in your workbook. If you can't find it in your workbook, I have either emailed it to you or it's in modules on the in the Canvas page on our Canvas course. So this is a conversion chart. It has a bunch of conversions. We won't give you any that aren't on this page. There are some formulas for when you get to areas and volumes, but I'm just going to show you some examples of conversion. So we are going to be using this throughout my examples. So I'm going to share a whiteboard and I'm just going to do some examples for you. So first example that I'm going to do is I am going to convert 82. Let's use a different color. Let's do a little darker color. Okay, so I'm going to convert 82 miles. Now on your conversion chart, it shows miles as MI. Okay. On the test or on a worksheet or workbook, it probably would show you miles. Okay. Or sometimes it'll show you just M, but make sure you're paying attention that if it says miles in the conversion chart, it shows MI, where M is just meters on the conversion chart. Okay, so I'm going to do it as if what it shows on the conversion chart, but in your work or on your examples and your homework, you want to make sure it says miles or meters. Okay, in the example problems in the homework. So we're going to convert 82 miles per hour to feet per second. Okay, now this one has two parts to it. We have two different things, miles to feet and hours to seconds. So I'm going to write 82 miles over, when it says per hour, that's per 1 hour. So I'm going to do per 1 hour. Okay, so I'm going to go feet to seconds or feet per seconds, but I'm going to choose which one I'm going to do first. I'm going to work with miles. So I'm going to get miles to feet. Okay, so in my conversion chart, we're converting from miles to feet. Okay, and that means we're looking at our lengths here. And the nice thing is that we already have miles to feet there for us. Okay, so we know it's 5,280 feet. Okay, so we're gonna go back to the whiteboard. Okay, 82 miles per 1 hour, and we're gonna change it to feet. Now, if I want miles to go away, I want it to cancel out, okay, or divide away, is that miles is in the numerator. That means I need miles in the denominator. So when it said it was 1 mile per 5,280 feet, that means my feet are in the numerator now and my miles are in the denominator. Okay, what this does, and I do this every time when I'm doing my conversions. If it helps you do this, grab a different color, write it out like this, that I'm going to cross off my miles. And right now I'm at feet, and that's what I want. So I'm going to circle that and I'm going to do a little check mark. Okay, I have my feet. That's what I want right here. Okay, that one's done. So now I'm going to go from hours to seconds. Okay, so we're going to go back and maybe I'll do a different color for this one. We'll do green. So now I'm going to go hours to seconds. Okay, so I want hours to go away, and maybe you know what hours to seconds is, but I'm going to go hours to minutes. Okay, I'm not going to show the conversion chart for this one. It is on there though. That hours is 60 minutes. Now I want my hours to go away. So if I want hours to go away, and right now they're in the denominator, that means they have to be in the numerator to cancel out or to divide away. So I know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. Okay, so my hours have crossed off, but I still have minutes and I want seconds. So now I'm going to do it again. So, okay, I know that minutes is in the denominator. I need minutes in the numerator to divide away. So there are, for every 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. Okay, so, sorry, I didn't cross this off in red. There we go. So then we're going to cross off minutes, and seconds is what I have. And that's what I want. So check, we're done. That is what we're done with our conversions. Now we need to multiply it out. Okay, so when we multiply this out in the calculator, Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to show my calculator on here. But in your calculator, everything in the numerator is going to get multiplied and everything in the denominator is going to be divided by each thing. So in your calculator, I would go through, I like to do all of my multiplication and then all of my division. That's just how I do it. You can do it a different way if you choose to. So I'm going to, in my calculator, I'm going to go 82. So I'm going to write back in the other color. I'm going to have 82 times 5,280. And then the other ones are 1. So you can go times 1, but it's not going to do anything. It's not going to hurt it though. So you can do it if you want to. But I'm not going to write it because it's not going to change it, multiplying by 1. It's the same with dividing by 1. It's not going to change it. So I'm not going to write it. But I do have these in the denominator. So I'm going to divide by 60 and then divide by another 60. So we need to make sure that we've done everything. I have my 82, 5,280, my 60, and all the rest of them are 1s, and the 1s don't matter because they're not going to change anything when we multiply or divide. So this I'm going to put in my calculator just like that. When you put it in your calculator, you should get 120.266666, right? So we're going to change it, and I'm going to round since it's 2666. I'm going to round to 3 decimal places, and this is going to become a 7. Okay, and then our units are now feet per second. Okay, and that's your answer. Okay, so now let's look at a different example. Let's see if I can make this. Looks like I can't do that. Okay, so what we're going to do is now I'm going to erase this example. See if I can maybe erase this bigger or easier. Nope, that didn't work. Sorry. We're experimenting. There we go. Experimenting with the whiteboard today. All right, so now we're going to do, I'm going to change 35 cups to liters. Sorry, that cups does not look like cups. Okay. 35 cups to liters. Okay, so again, these are all different types of measurements. Okay, so this one is actually going to use quite a bit. Okay, so we're going to have to pay attention to what our conversion chart shows. Okay, so I'm going to show you which ones we're going to use just in the beginning, and then I'm not going to go back and forth. You can just look at yours. Okay, so we're going from cups to liters. Okay, so now we're working with volume right here. Okay, so in our volume, we're starting with cups. Okay, and we want to somehow get to liters. So we're going to look at all of the L's over here are liters. Okay, as it shows right here, metric liters. L is liters. That's kind of what it tells you right there. And there's another one down here. Okay, so liters can go to gallons, or it can go to any of these things over here. Milliliters, okay, any of these things over here. So if I can get my cups to gallons, then I can get to liters. So I'm going to get my cups to a pint because I don't have anything from straight cups to gallons. But if I can get cups to pints and then pints to quarts and then quarts to gallons, I can get gallons to liters. So we're going to use all of those different conversions. Okay, so it's kind of a lot. Okay, but you can use your conversion chart on the test. Remember, it's not, you don't have to memorize all those things. That would be ridiculous. So 35 cups. So we have 35 cups over 1. Okay, I just do this every time. It's how I do my conversions. On the video, I do believe it shows you a little bit differently. I do prefer this way, but so that's why I'm doing another video for you. So I have 35 cups over 1. Okay, so we said first that we were going to go 2 pints. Now remember, my cups is in the numerator, so I'm going to put cups in the denominator because I want it to divide away. Okay, so it said that there were 2 cups per 1 pint. Okay, now my cups are going to go away, and I'm not going to do this every time. I'll do this towards the end or at the end of each section. But my cups are going to go away. Now I have pints, but pints isn't what I want to end with. I want to end with liters. So I have pints. So now I need to get pints away. And it said I had 2 pints for every 1 quart. Okay, and you can just write Q. I'm just writing quart out so you can kind of see what I'm doing so you don't forget what that means. Okay, so my pints are going to cross off. I'll cross them off at the end. Okay, so now I want quarts. I still want liters. So now I can go quarts to gallons. Remember, here, pints was in the numerator. I put it in the denominator. Quarts is in the numerator. I need it to be in the denominator if I'm going to have it cancel out or divide away. So we have 4 quarts and 1 gallon. Okay, so now we know that we can get from gallons to liters because that was in the bottom part. So gallons is in the numerator. I'm going to write it down here. So it's going to look kind of funky because that's in a different line, but it's okay. So now 1 gallon is on top. I'm going to have gallons in the denominator. Okay, because I want it to go away. And it told me that there was 1 gallon for 3.79 liters. Okay, so we're going to double check and make sure we have what we want because our goal is to get to liters. That means, because when we think about what conversions really mean, is all of these things are equal when we're setting up this fraction right here. Those things are the same. They're equal measurements. Okay, it's just like saying, if I'm doing baking cookies or something, and it says I need a cup of flour, but my 1 cup is dirty, I can use a half cup and use it 2 times. So 2 1/2 cups is equal to 1 cup. These things, that's straight just cups, but you can say, okay, well, 16 tablespoons equals a cup. Okay, these things are equal. So that's why we can do this and get rid of all of our units and change units without actually changing what the problem is or what the measurement is. You still have 35 cups, we're just putting it to liters. So my pints have gone away, my quarts have gone away, my gallons have gone away, and I'm left with liters. That's what I wanted, so I'm done. So I can put in my calculator. So I'm going to go 35 times, oh yeah, I was going to do all my multiplication first. So 35 times 1 times 1 times 1, that doesn't change anything. So I'm going to times by or multiply by, oh, sorry, I was going to do that in blue. Don't really like to write in red often. So I'm going to go 35 times 3.79. And I'm going to look at all the stuff in the denominator and I'm going to divide by all those things. So I have a 2 here. So I'm going to divide by 2, divide by another 2, and divide by my 4 there. And then dividing by 1 doesn't change anything. So after doing that, I should end up with 8.29 liters. And that's my answer. Okay. So we're going to do one more example. In this example, I don't believe it's on the homework, but it's in the example problems that I think people are kind of getting tripped up on. So we're going to go 42 feet squared, and we're going to change it to meters squared. Now, again, in the chart, in the conversion chart, meters is M. Okay, so I'm going to change to show you my conversion chart. Okay, so we're going back to length. So we're going to look back up here. Here's your time for that other one if you needed it. Okay, just to remind you where it's at. Okay, that was for the last problem or 2 problems ago. Okay, so for feet to meters, okay, make this a little bigger so we can see it better. So we have here, we have feet to inches, that doesn't get to meters, yards to feet, feet to miles, MI is miles, okay. We can get from 1 inch to centimeters, and then we jump over to meters over here. So inches goes to centimeters, centimeters goes to meters. So if I can get my feet to inches, my inches to centimeters, my centimeters to meters, then I'll be good to go, okay? So that's what we're going to use, okay? So first we have 42 feet squared over 1. Okay, now this gets a little confusing because it says, I think in the workbook, it says you're going to use units twice. You're going to have to use your conversions twice, unit conversions. What I'm going to show you, the reason why is feet squared. What this really means is 42 feet times feet. Feet squared really means feet times feet. So I'm going to write that every time, okay, over 1. I'm not going to write it like this because that gets confusing. So I'm going to write it feet times feet. Okay, and what this means is I have to get rid of both of those units. I can't just get rid of the feet one time, it's squared. So I have to do it twice. So when I'm going feet to inches, okay, I want inches. So that means that I want my feet to divide away. So my feet is in the denominator, and I know there's 1 foot to 12 inches. Again, this is also on your unit chart if you did not know that or you didn't remember. Okay. So this right here, though, okay, only gets rid of one of my feet. I still have another one that I have to get rid of. So I have to do it again. 1 foot is 12 inches. Okay, so that gets rid of both of my feet. So now I have 2 inches units. Okay. Now, again, I want to get to meters. Okay, so now I need my inches to go away. Okay, so for my inches to go away, now we're going to go from inches to centimeters, because that's what we said. If we get inches to centimeters, centimeters to meters, then we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to do my centimeters. So I know that there are, as in the conversion chart, 2.54 centimeters for 1 inch. Okay, now again, that gets rid of one of my inches, but I need to get rid of both of them. So I'm going to multiply again by 2.54 centimeters over 1 inch. So now and I'll cross them off later, but my inches are gone because I did it twice, but now I have 2 centimeters. Now I need meters. Okay, so now we know that there are 100 centimeters and 1 meter. Centimeters is in the numerator, so to get rid of it, I need in the denominator. So there are 100 centimeters per 1 meter. Okay. So again, if I'm going to cross these off, I'll just cross them off now. That inches gets rid of with this one. It divides away. Okay. Because inches over inches crosses off and disappears. Just like 5 over 5 becomes 1. Okay. 10 over 10 becomes 1. They cancel each other out. This inches with this inches crosses off. Okay. But now I need centimeters. This centimeters with this centimeters, but I still have this centimeters. I have a meter, but I need meters squared. Okay. So now we're going to multiply again by, by our 100 centimeters per 1 meter. Okay. But the centimeters has to be in the denominator. So I said that weird. 1 meter per 100 centimeters. Okay. So let's look and see what we have. So then this centimeter crosses off with this centimeter. Now I have meter and meter. Those are my units that I'm left with. Meter times meter is meters squared. And that's what I wanted. So we're done. Meters squared. Got my meter squared there, meter squared. That's what I wanted. Okay. So now we have to do all of our multiplication stuff. So we have 42. Okay. So again, ignore this 42. That was the original problem. I just wrote it differently. So I have my 42 times 12 times 12 times 2.54 times 2.54. Then I have my divided by my 100s, divided by 100, divided by 100. So let's make sure we got everything. We have 42, our 12, our 12, our 2.54, our 2.54. And then we have 2 ones. Those don't change anything. Here we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 100, 100. Now we have everything. Okay, so putting this in the calculator, going to put it in just like that. You get 3.902. That's rounded. Okay, I rounded that. I think it's 19 at the end. So that 9 makes the 1 become a 2 because I do 3 decimal places. Just kind of pay attention to what it wants you to round to in the test. Sometimes it will say 2 decimal places. It's making sure that you can read and pay attention to instructions. Okay. So here, 3.902 meters squared. That is the same thing as 42 feet squared. Now, just so you know, when we're working with squared things, we're talking about area. So 42 feet squared, that's a very large area of something, okay? And that's what it is in meters squared, okay? So I hope that helps anyone. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'd be happy to meet with you and go over any other problems that you have. Thank you.